Shalom, shalom. This is Kapadia, aka Pops, out of GMS Chicago, with another sit down. Before I get started, though, like always, I want to send all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, and Kakwadash. To the apostles and elders of GMS out of New York, I want to send double honors because they do rule well. Brothers out there in the elders out there in Connecticut. Okay. Like I said, you know, we in this truth is going to have to be selective of who we talk to because these people now are going to start stepping to us, offering the sacrifice of fools more and more in different walks of life. Okay? Caught up in new speech and all these other things. You know, they can't receive the understanding because they're not meant to do it. They done read all kinds of books or whatever the case might be, thinking that they learned, not understanding that we read additional books as well, but if it doesn't line up with the scriptures, we label it as garbage. Why? Because of the fact that with that comes the idea that the only scripture that's going to hold, or the only words that's going to hold true, is going to be the word of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. So I'm going to start that with this scripture here, Psalms 18 and 30. As for Yahweh, his way is perfect. The word of Yahweh is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him. He's a buckler, okay? You know, a warrior. Someone that's going to put his hedge of protection on those men in that day, okay? These men that think that they're going to be able to just spout off and say whatever the fuck they want to say to a prophet or whatever the case might be, or abandon the Lord, and there's going to be no repercussions. That ain't what the scripture says. Because the scripture says that you shall give an account for every idle word. Okay? Let's slide down to 35 and 36. Thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation. The shield of thy salvation. Shield. Listen to that. Shield of salvation. How did Yahweh Shai battle Satan when Satan came to tempt him after 40 years of fasting? He battled him with the understanding of the scriptures. That was his shield. Satan threw a dart. The Lord gave the understanding, which was the shield that he used against Satan himself. Okay, thou hast enlarged my steps under me, that my feet did not slip. Okay, as they say, building your works upon the solid foundation of Yahweh Shai. So when all these fucking bullshit come up and start trying to blow you to and fro, back and forth, you can stand on the foundation that Yahweh Shai has laid, that's going to stand true through, not till, through the end of time, and come out on the other side in the kingdom. Okay? All right? Let's go to Psalms 33. 33. I'm going to start at 4 and kind of jump around a little bit. Psalms 33 and 4. For the word of Yahweh is right, and all his works are done in truth. So these people that's going to come up here and tell you that they don't believe in the Bible and they don't believe this and they don't believe that, don't even try to contest and prove your point. Let them be what they're going to be. Okay? Let them be what they're going to be. Especially at the job. It ain't worth it at the job. Because like I said, they don't understand the seed to the hip, the grain of rice, Revelation 13, 16 through 18. They don't want to get that. They don't want to deal with the what's that, stigma, or what the last of it, the last word in that basically means basically a piercing instrument anyway. They don't understand none of that. They're not gonna wrap their mind around none of that. They're not gonna be able to get that. Okay, so that's all his works of Yahweh are done in truth. Sliding down to 6. By the word of Yahweh were the heavens made, and all the hosts of them by the breath of his mouth. And we know that Yahweh didn't even come off the throne himself. What did he do? Huh? He had his angels. He had the Elohim doing that. Okay? Adam being Yahweh Shai, he said, let us make man in our image. That was the Elohim, the powers. They was the ones that was up there laying that down. Okay? Yahweh Shai ran it up to a certain point. But then, like I said, as Adam, he ran the planet itself. But they can't understand the transition, how the Lord can slide between things and whatnot. And they definitely don't want to deal with supernatural. And this is what I'm saying. I was listening to a conversation, and when you've been in this for a minute, you know where it's at. They don't believe the Bible, so you have no basis to be able to meet them at. They have no structure as to prove your point. They're not even using the Bible to try to make their point. So the conversation is moot. Let them stand there, and when that shit happens, when the real happens, then they'll come looking for you and you won't be around. Verse 10. Yahweh bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. All that shit that they think that they have, that they done read, that Esau's going to be able to do, and this technology that made them think that they want to buy and believe all the shit that he's got going, and then they find what things that are flawed in it, and then think that they even better because they see the flaws of Esau shit, but then they still base on, so, like I said, they double-minded. And since they double-minded, they're not going to be able to get it. Okay? Let's go down here to 50. I'm going to pull a lot of stuff out of the Psalms and whatnot, because a lot of wisdom is in Psalms. Let's go 50 and 17 through 19. Seeing thou hatest instruction and casteth my words behind thee. And this is Esau, but the 2/3 that I hooked to him, it's got the same judgment that's coming. When thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, and has been partaker with adulterers. So you took part of this shit. And even though all the I's can be dotted and all the T's can be crossed, they don't want to believe it. So don't get into no debates. Like I said, I mean, teach the word when you out there in the street, and fuck that job breaking down mentality and whatnot. Cause this shit is going real bad. And as Apostle Tahar and whatnot say, you got to be Clark Kent and Superman. You're Superman on whatever day your camp day is. You're Superman when you're putting out your lessons, but you Clark Kent most of the time. Okay. Let me go here again, because they're not going to be able to wrap their mind around this. So why are you going to waste your breath trying to get them to understand it? 68 and 11. The Lord gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it. So you stand out there doing the work, doing your lessons, doing these things and whatnot. Don't worry about that person that's got these people where you at. listening to the nonsense and the bullshit that he's spewing. Let him spew it. More people going to be destroyed here in America that are Israelites than it's going to be saved. And that's just the bottom line. 2/3 shall be destroyed. The 1/3 shall come through the fire. What is the fire? This is what we're dealing with right now. All the heat, all the turmoil, all the stuff that we see coming down the pipe. Knowing that, like I said, all this stuff is going to go up in smoke. And whatever few dollars we might have sitting around the house and whatnot, that could be gone and worth nothing too. So be it. Okay. 19. Blessed be the Lord who daily loadeth us with benefits, even the power of our salvation. Blessed be Yahweh who daily loadeth us with benefits, even the power of our salvation. Giving us this word, giving us the deep-rooted understanding that we can't be shaken off of it. Selah. Okay? Because these people are going to get tossed to and fro. When the shit start hitting the fan and the answers that they think they got don't stand up, they going to get tossed to and fro trying to find the answers. Psalms 103 and 20. Bless Yahweh ye his angels that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening to the voice of his word. So all this shit that the world is pushing and publishing and putting out there, you still, Deuteronomy 28:6, you are still in the midst of these motherfuckers, your enemies. They're not going to give you the truth. Okay? So you hear what Esau's saying, but then you catch wind a little bit here, a little bit there, that they're not giving you the truth, so that you think that makes you smarter, but you can't connect all the dots anyway. No, you just figured out that Esau, the red man, is a liar. Okay, we got that part. So now, with him being a liar, how do you combat that lie? How do you combat them lies? By understanding these scriptures. Okay? Let's go to Proverbs. Like I said, I'm going to keep this kind of... Proverbs 1, 2 through 7. Proverbs 1, 2 through 7. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the word of understanding. That's the whole duty of man, to understand these scriptures and apply them to your life. Teach it correctly, okay? Don't try to teach something that you're not versed in, and stay in your lane. To receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity. To give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. See, these people think that they've got knowledge, but they can't even break these down. You know, how you going to argue about talking about his two creations when in one is when man was formed a beast, and 1 in 27 of Genesis, and then not be able to understand in the second chapter when Adam was given the knowledge, because that's what he was given. He was given the knowledge. That's how Cain and Abel understood what sacrifices was, and blood sacrifices and all these other things once they had went off. That's how they understood it, because they had been given the knowledge by word of mouth before Moses was given the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay? A wise man will, a wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain to wise counsels. People always want to sound deep, but they can't wrap their mind around it. So don't bother. Seriously, don't bother. Okay. 6, to understand a proverb and interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. So you got to be drawn from the breast and weaned from the milk. Isaiah the 28th chapter. Okay? They can't get that. They can't even stomach the milk. How are you going to give them a deeper saying? Something that over the years that you've been teaching, you take for granted. You don't even take it for granted. It's just to you, it's common knowledge now. But to them, it's sayings that they can't wrap their mind around. And they're not going to be able to wrap their mind around because the Lord isn't giving it to them to understand it. Okay? (19:27-29). Proverbs 19:27. Cease, my son, to hear the instruction that causeth to err from the words of knowledge. So don't listen to that bullshit that they come up and they want to spit. Don't listen to it. They the ones that are going to be shook to and fro when everything that you've already said and you know in your heart and in your mind and you're not going to be shaken from. They going to be the ones trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. And as they say, you know, if you had that conversation back in the day when you first came in and was young and whatnot, they go, like I said, somebody there will be able to tell them, nah, this dude knew all that. He broke all that down when he was years ago. Now you can't even get him to talk about it. He don't even want to talk about it now. Why? Because like I said, in the day that the C-HIP shows up, the election ain't gonna be looking to go into work. Work for what? To put money on a grain of rice that I'm not going to take? Why am I going to work for that? But 28. An ungodly witness scorneth judgment. An ungodly witness scorneth judgment. An ungodly witness is going to scorn the judgment that Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai is bringing to the table because he's going to be a partaker in the judgment and the ramifications and the repercussions that's going to come with it. And the mouth of the wicked devoureth iniquity. They eat that shit alive. They eat sin alive. Because they out there telling this bullshit and people want to think that they smart and they're not. Okay? They're not. Judgments are prepared for scorners and stripes for the back of fools. So these guys that don't want to believe the scriptures, can't believe the scriptures, don't want to understand it, don't want to draw that as the base of life that Yahweh inspired to men to go out there and publish it and do it. Fuck them. Fuck them. They're meant to be destroyed. Because they think that you can see this, you know that, this, that, and other, blah, 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 blah. They don't know that the word science means to know, and Esau shit is built on a lot of hypotheticals to begin with. So let's go here. 1 Timothy 6:5. Perverse disputing of men of corrupt mind and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness, from such withdraw thyself. These people can't walk away from their situation. To walk away from it, to be destitute, to go from being a functioning citizen in Esau's kingdom to all of a sudden having nothing. They can't wrap their mind around that. The men of the Lord don't give a fuck about it. Because what we don't have on hand, the Lord is going to provide. And that's what he told us. And we go hold him true to that word. Because he said he cannot lie. Okay? Verse 20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust. What was Timothy trusted with? The understanding of Yahweh Bashim Hawashai. Paul is telling him, keep it. Hold on to it. Avoid profane and vain babblings and opposition of science, falsely so-called, because science means to know. And they don't know this shit. Most of the Esau shit is based on hypotheticals and what they want to call what's the word I'm saying? Yeah, hypotheticals, possibilities and things to this nature. It ain't built on absolute science. Why? Because they'll tell you that the chariots that they can't do anything that mimic the speed, the maneuverability, or able to withstand the fucking destructive force that maneuverability does. So it defies the laws of physics. No, it defies Esau laws of physics because the Lord Yahweh only gave them certain amounts through their men of Teman. He gave them certain amount. But like I said, even that is being drawn back from them now. Okay? Let me go and get this. And this could be my last scripture. Second Timothy 2:16. But shun profane and vain babblings, for they will increase unto more ungodliness. These people can't submit themselves to the righteousness of God. Romans 10:2. They can't submit themselves. They're not going to be able to submit themselves. So since they keep going the fuck off, let them go the fuck off until they destroy. Period. So I hope that's edifying for the elect. Don't waste your time with these people. Because as this shit ramps up and get closer, don't. Like I said, your public spectacle is in your sit downs, and then you standing out there in the street, in the highways and hedges, lifting up the word of Yahweh by Shema Shah. You don't have to be there at the job. Fuck them. Somebody that you talked to years ago want to come quietly and have a conversation on the side. That's one thing. But disputing, nah, you don't dispute. You don't draw attention to yourself. You don't need to. Not there, not now. Because in a minute, like I said, you're just trying to get through until that C-hip is implemented, and you're going to be out of there anyway. So with that, I want to send all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, and Kakwadash, to the apostles and elders of Jim. I want to send I want to send all honor, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, and Kakwadash, to the apostles and elders again of GMS out of New York, elders out of Connecticut, apostles down in Texas still. Again, double honors, they rule well, brethren around the world. Declaring war on the planet, giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly of the prophecies and scriptures, breaking them down, declaring war on it, salutations. Hopefully, I hope that's edifying. Aqua, fear and truth, listen, sincere, share to keep doing so. Scorn us call for reprobate 2/3 Israelites, 17 other nations who's in the midst of Jacob's trouble is only going to get worse. First group of Hardy Shalom, second group of Bar.